You are inside the studio with Powertex. Welcome to the Mixed Media podcast for artists, crafters, and adventurous creators. This podcast is for you if your creativity cannot be defined by any label, and where the only limit here is your imagination. I'm Michelle Brewer, Creative Director at Powertex UK. Now let's talk all things Powertex, mixed media, and creativity. Hello, you are inside the studio with me for another podcast about Powertex and mixed media. So I'll keep it brief today, but this is something that's been playing on my mind. Powertex is a bit of a secret. The more people that I meet and talk to in the creative world, the more I get to introduce Powertex to them. But so many people don't know about it. Why is that? Why don't people know about Powertex? How can I change that? So one of the things that is definitely getting in the way is something called gatekeeping. Now, this is the term that's used when people are withholding knowledge and keeping secrets. And in this case, they're not sharing the secret that is Powertex. No, it doesn't need to be a secret. Powertex is for everybody. I absolutely love it. As you know, it's a beautiful, wonderful product, and it's so versatile. So I've had a look. There's been a little change in the Facebook algorithm recently, and it's now it shows you lots of groups that might be of interest to you. So it looks at all of the things you look at and you share and you do on Facebook, and it makes suggestions. And that's been brilliant for me because it's suggested some really wonderful groups. And I've popped in and I've got fingers in all sorts of pies. It's no good. It's such a time waste. But I've looked at a lot of the things, and I've actually seen gatekeeping around Powertex and lots of other stuff. But my knowledge is where Powertex is. So that's what I'm going to talk about. And I see some really amazing creations. This is all across the world, so not just in the UK. So all around the world. And I've seen some wonderful things. And then I hear people using very generic terms. So they might say, or vague terms, such as, I used mixed media. I went to a creative workshop. Well, of course you did, but tell everybody what else. Tell everybody what it is. And then they don't. Or they say something like, I just used a fabric hardener. And I tell people, what have you used? And let them share in the joy. I'm not sure what they're afraid will happen. They must be afraid of something. And the term gatekeeping, I heard about this through a lovely artist called Rosie Castledon. And she's extremely generous with her knowledge. And I know that she has experienced the frustration of gatekeeping. She's a fine art artist, but she also is a Powertex tutor, and she uses Powertex a lot. And it's something that we've discussed, this whole gatekeeping business. So it's rife. It's everywhere. But it has an impact on the community. So it can make things feel exclusive or unobtainable. It can make products feel like they are too complex. It can really put beginners off. That puts a barrier in the way. That there's this great big secret, and it can intimidate people. So I experienced this, actually. It's not just in Powertex. This exists everywhere. So when I left school, I went to Saddlery College, and I trained for 4 years to be a saddler. And part of that training, we had extremely knowledgeable, experienced tutors, and we would go and meet up with the King's Troop from Buckingham Palace. I mean, you don't get any better than the Queen's horsemen, do you? The Queen's saddlers. So we used to go and learn from them. They were very generous with their time and their knowledge. No gatekeeping there. But in the saddlery industry, it started to become known as a black art. even. Some people would describe it as a black art. I didn't hear the term gatekeeping. I heard black art. Or, not as in a dark craft. That's a different thing. But as in something that's going to die out. And actually, saddlery, as we know it, is not the same because of mass production and things like that. But there was so much secrecy within the trade that they were killing themselves off as a trade because they were not sharing and handing down the knowledge. I don't know what they thought was going to happen. Did all of these, and it was a real sort of man-heavy industry as well. I say it like I'm 100 years old, but back in the day, it was, the saddlers were all men, and, well, not all men, but mostly men. They were starting to let a few women in. But I was thinking, and they were all old. So there were no new or fresh people coming in. So I was extremely fresh at 16. But I was thinking, who is going to be taking over this craft? They're not sharing their knowledge. They're not telling anybody how to reflock a saddle or fit a saddle or, hand stitch the harness. Then it is going to die out. So I have gone off on a bit of a tangent there, but coming back to Powertex and the arts and crafts world, the gatekeeping becomes an issue. So I know that because I've seen with my own eyes in some of these groups, people using Powertex and not sharing that it's Powertex that they've used. So I think that's a real shame. So I'm here to tell everybody about it. Or they overly complicate things. So sometimes people create their own recipes, which can be a little bit dangerous, but, not if you're just using toilet roll and PVA glue or something for paper mache. But I think what is it about us crafters that really enjoy a homemade recipe? I mean, that is quite fun, but I can't be bothered. Not anymore. I love that Powertex has a huge range of products. So you can just buy it ready-made. Like, I don't have to be out there trying to make my own structure paste with toilet paper or shredded paper and PVA glue because I have easy structure. I can just use the structure paste here, or I can use the fabric hardener. And I know that it's non-toxic and it's water-based and environmentally friendly and all of those things. And it does what I want it to. So there are pros to using ready-made things. But why is it essential that we share this knowledge? Well, it's not essential, is it? It's not just a nice thing to do. So we can foster collaboration. Because I think one of the reasons that we come into creativity, whether it's arts or crafts or whatever it is that we're doing, is to meet other people. There are different stages in life that we come to new hobbies or new things to do, but especially through creativity. And it's very much about connection. So encouraging new talent, building a whole community around a particular craft is a very positive thing. And we have a really lovely community in Powertex. It's a global community, so you can find us on Facebook in the Powertex studio. And that's a really lovely, as I said, global community and lots of sharing in there. So I think also sharing your knowledge, whatever that might be. So everybody knows something, a little something. Some people say, I don't know anything. I'm completely new. But Powertex sort of blends with lots of different things really easily. So you might not know anything about painting, but you might know something about needle felting. And therefore you can tell everyone how wonderful Power Wax is for needle felting. Do you see that it doesn't have to be one thing. So that, creates opportunities for innovation. You can innovate, can't you? And I think that sharing knowledge is really empowering. So here at Powertex, we have certified Powertex tutors. I'm running the course this week for a taster workshop for people to see whether they want to become a tutor. We have tutors. So you can go to a tutor and you can make a specific item, or you can go to one of their workshops to build your knowledge. But also we share a lot online. So we have a blog, we call it our Mixed Media Magazine. And on Thursdays, I go live in the Powertex studio for a Powertex Unleashed session. And I usually demonstrate a product and how to use that particular product. Or a tutor will come on and do a project demonstration. So I really believe that sharing the knowledge, and it is always at the heart of whether you can create something or not, it's whether you know how to use the product. That's all it is. When someone says, I haven't got a creative bone in my body, I do see that as a challenge, actually. I love it when people say that. But quite often people say, oh, I tried that and it didn't go well. It's not you. It's the product or your lack of product knowledge. You just don't know how to use the thing. And then it's just practice. Nobody picks up a paintbrush or a piece of clay or some fabric for fabric sculpting and then is immediately brilliant at it. It takes practice and you work, and it doesn't matter if you don't create a masterpiece. You can just create because it's a nice mindful thing to do. So let's address the elephant in the room. There are lots and lots of people that use Powertex, lots of crafters that use Powertex under generic labels such as textile hardener. That's what it is. Or they just say mixed media or creative workshop, creative artist. And it's Powertex. So I wish that they would share that and acknowledge that, because I think the people that follow them will appreciate it, and it doesn't diminish their artistry at all. In fact, it enhances it. So one of the things that I love about Powertex is its accessibility. So because of its safety rating, and we have the AP seal, it does make it really, it's absolutely fine for children to use. It makes it versatile. It's accessible to beginners because you can take Powertex as a complete newbie and create something amazing. You can blow your own mind, which is fantastic, isn't it? So it's such a versatile tool for artists and creators. It's a paint, it's a fabric hardener, and it's a glue all in one. And don't forget that it's waterproof, so your projects can live outside. It's just amazing on so many levels. And that's just the core fabric hardener. That's the universal medium. There's a whole range of products that come with Powertex. The stone art, that's amazing. So create beautiful stone-like finishes, or you can create lovely air dry clay. And we have Easy 3D Flex. We have Power Smooth. We have Easy Structure. Oh, I'm not going to list them all. We've got so many. Got loads of different products, and they are shortcuts. You don't need to be cooking up weirdy-beardy stuff in a saucepan when you've got it ready-made, unless like that's your jam and that's what you want to do. But, we've got lots of ready-made products. And when you're looking, if you're anything like me, you're always scrolling and getting addicted to those little videos that catch your attention. And you think, oh, how have they done that? I don't think I need to know how they made. I don't need to know everything, but I can't help but follow those videos. But sharing creation. So I'd love for you to share your creations, share what you've made. Don't have to share your processes. Like, you don't have to give away everything that you do. But if someone loves what you do, says, how have you made that? It's really nice if you tell them about Powertex so they can have a go themselves. Do you find it's a secret? I know, obviously, you're in on the secret because you're here and you're listening to me. So you know about the secret. Powertex isn't a secret. Let's tell everybody. Let's stop it being a secret. Let's make Powertex more accessible for everybody so they know about it. So when you see someone struggling in those groups, or someone says, does anyone know how to achieve those gorgeous cracks in a painting? It's easy 3D flex. Yes, we do. Someone says, oh, how did you make that amazing effect? Well, it's stone art powder and Vista, for example. There's all sorts of things you can do. So please share the joy. I'd love it if you shared the Powertex love, shared the Powertex joy. We've got Dabble Days coming up soon, so that will be a great opportunity for people to give it a try too. But that's it, gatekeeping. What's your experience with gatekeeping? Let's keep it quite lighthearted, though. I'm just thinking we're not going to sit here and have a really good moan about gatekeepers, but I'm not a fan. So let me know, what's your experience? It's something I'm really proud of in our Powertex community, in our global group on Facebook that everyone shares. And everyone is so kind. That's the thing. Everyone's really kind about what you've made. But let me know, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.